firearms, and that should be a part of your personal safety security strategies. The beauty of this technology, byrna.com, you can see the videos online. I urge all of you to look at them. It is non-lethal self-defense, and it is extraordinarily effective. You don't need a permit. You don't need a background check. It's legal in all 50 states. It's part of my everyday personal security and safety strategies. This launcher has powerful deterrence, tear gas, kinetic rounds, pepper spray. You can hit a target 60 feet away. One shot can incapacitate any attacker up to 40 minutes. And all of these launchers are hand-assembled in beautiful Fort Wayne, Indiana. If you're looking to conceal carry on your body without attracting unnecessary attention, well, you can. They have their compact launcher, which is 4 inches long, 2 smartphones thick. Anyway, check out their videos online, and you will discover why all these over 500 government agencies, police departments, and private security firms have adopted this technology. Go to byrna.com to learn more, byrna.com, or check them out at your local Sportsman's Warehouse location.
Hey, bud, I'll be right back. I forgot something in the
getting bigger and
building
bigger
here.
by the hour. It would seem to me that probably with now criminal investigations in New York City and in Los Angeles, as it relates to Mr. Fang Fang Eric Swalwell, that I would not at all be surprised if a grand jury convenes and that an indictment would be forthcoming. The allegations are beyond repulsive. Let me just play a couple of them. There are many more, and many more we expect to be coming. And for example, this is one accuser, a former staffer, who alleged that Swalwell sexually assaulted her after a night of heavy drinking. Listen to this.
I went to the bathroom and I don't remember anything after that. You don't remember anything? I remember the next day, I can see flashes of that evening of him on top of me pushing him off, him grabbing me. It was a lot more aggressive. It was aggressive. Did you say no? Yes. I said no. In my flash that I can recall, I was pushing him off of me saying no. And what did he do? He didn't stop. And you woke up the next morning. I woke up the next morning naked, alone in his hotel room.
Now, in that case, okay, the woman claims that there had been a night of heavy drinking. However, she has memories of what happened and what she woke up to the next day. And here's a woman that said he raped her. Listen.
I only had one glass of wine. We were supposed to go to a political event, and he said he needed to get paperwork from his hotel room. When I arrived at his hotel room, I was already incapacitated, and I couldn't move my arms or my body. He raped me, and he choked me, and while he was choking me, I lost consciousness.
Oh, I mean, it is really, really disgusting, disturbing on
All right, I'm back.
every single level.
Hey,
Anyway,
Stig.
what to discuss is Anna Paulina Luna is with us, Florida Congresswoman.
LVA, what's
who's
up?
been all over this issue. Also, Ola Owatma is with us, a Republican. She's running for the election in the U.S. House to represent the 19th Congressional District. By the way, that's Byron Donald's district. Thank you, both of you. Thanks to both of you for being on the program. Anna, we've had you on this topic. You were actually quoted in this morning's paper saying that this may not be the end of people that are going to be removed from Congress. What did you mean by that?
Well, look, there's been a number of people currently under congressional ethics investigations that have very serious allegations, but also that there's evidence to back. And my opinion and position has remained consistent on this. I don't care what the party affiliation is of the individual. If they are knowingly and maliciously breaking House conduct and our rules, as well as engaged in illegal activity, and there's proof of that, they need to resign. And if they don't resign, I will vote to expel them. But that's not the only thing I'm hearing, Hannity. There's a ton that's now coming out also, too, potentially about a senator associated with Eric Swalwell. I'm passing that information to John Thune, who I don't know if he likes me that much because of my position on voter ID and FISA, but nonetheless, I do think that he needs to look into this.
Well, I agree with you on voter ID and FISA, so too bad. I mean, we're not always going to agree. Are you saying that this individual's from California?
The senator in question is in Arizona.
Okay. Well, I think I know who that probably is, and we'll wait and see. And
Really?
also, I'm not a person that ever rushes to judgment, but I will tell you,
Hey, Schmidler, it's been a while, man. Good to see you.
They all
We're
have
on
a
Twitch.
degree of credibility, and I'm just looking at this through the prism. Ola, I'll bring you into this. Of if I heard these women, and I was on a jury, and I imagine any other jury would hear it the same way. These women they exude credibility to me. And when you have one woman after another, after another, after another, after another, after another, and they're all describing, we're not talking about flirtation, although that existed and pictures existed and all sorts of other bizarre behavior with this guy existed. We're talking about rape in a couple of these instances.
Old man.
And I don't think any jury is going to be sympathetic to Mr. Fang Fang.
Yeah,
I should have seen what I drove through on the way up over here.
Over a half a dozen with sexual misconduct.
See if I can create a clip.
And
I'll upload it to my Rumble short. I'll even do a regular short on YouTube.
Like, this is all new. Everything's coming up. There are other members of Congress that fall into the same category. We see ethics committee going after them, but then it just dies off, and we see endorsements come into them, and they're still in the same seat. There has to be accountability. Accountability has to be in place, and I love what Anna Paulina, working for the U.S.
Oh, no, don't worry about that.
I see her being
I just do it just to spread the word. I'm only monetized on Rumble now.
Something like this that's so serious, we have to take this serious, and it's just disgusting and disturbing.
Well, I know
so it's all good. I'm only like I said, yeah, I'm only
helping them develop their careers and their self-esteem, and that's a big part of
trying to get this
platform that you're running on to replace Brian Bonos. And we're going to watch this race very, very closely. But Anna, when I think about all the allegations that are being made here,
this is connected, isn't it?
I think about there's been this slush fund.
Okay, here it is. Tap here to watch your clip. Okay.
For a long period of time, and I've talked about it for many years on this program. Where
cool. Here, look at this. Here, I'll just show it to you guys on camera real quick. First, let me turn the camera around. There we go.
Funds have been used to come up with payments and then non-disclosure agreements, and the taxpayers have been on the hook for it, or donors have been on the hook for it. If they want to go into that agreement, I'm perfectly fine. If two people want to make any business agreement, that's up to them. However, you can't make taxpayers and donors pay for it.
You can't see it very good. Oh, there it is.
If you've done that, I think we should be made aware of it.
Look at that shit. I was trying to get next to the truck because they kind of wanted me to let them block it a little bit, but it was almost pointless. Then I was just caught in their wash. It was coming down so freaking hard. Apparently it was muted too, though. I got to fix that. And nuts. Yeah. Barely see. Yeah, for one portion of that, I'm literally doing like 4 miles an hour. It looks like we're going faster than we are, but we're barely moving.
She's gotten a taxpayer take her full time.
What did they find? 25 ethics
violations? Oh, I saved this. There we go.
Yeah, 25 out of the 27. It was insane.
Unbelievable. And your commentary on that, Ola. And how do we clean up the halls of Congress? How have they gotten away for all these decades with having a slush fund to pay off people with either taxpayer money or donor money, and then it gets buried and nobody ever learns about it. And then when they vote for transparency, the very people screaming Epstein, Epstein, Epstein don't want any transparency all of a sudden.
Oh, exactly, because it's them. The lack of accountability and transparency is definitely needed.
KXZ.
I mean, you look at Corey Mills, for
All right,
example.
let me,
Yes, I am 100%
everybody who can, please slide over to Rumble. We're good on watch time and everything. I just need the broadcast on Rumble, but that's where almost everybody's going to be chatting. If you can't, that's fine.
As Dana Quinn said, you need to be expelled. I mean, there should be responsibility for their actions. They could not continue because what happens is we normalize this. It's become a normal thing in the halls of Congress, and it's not the way it's supposed to be. This isn't how we conduct ourselves. We serve the people.
As nice as it looks outside right now.
They're paying taxes for your misconduct? Absolutely not.
No.
All right, I got to go.
It is nauseating to me, the whole thing. Hopefully the reforms will now get in place, but it seems like, every 5 or 10 years we run through a cycle where this happens a lot. We'll give you the last word, Anna.
Well, look, I'm happy to help lead the way on this. I knew the moment I filed the motion to expel Swalwell, it would start a chain reaction. I went on record with that, and as they now say, it's trashed in Washington, D.C., and we're taking out the...
I'm going to put on Robert Gouveia. I don't want to listen to Andy.
Thank you. Ola is also running for the 19th District, as Byron Donald's seat in Florida. We will follow that race closely. Ola, thank you for being with us. 800-941-SEAN if you want to be a part of the program. Linda, this is a topic we've talked a lot about over the year.
And now she's the person responsible, I guess, on the board for notifying her to show up for the hearing. So Fulton County can't even properly send emails and notifications for their own hearings, but we're expected to trust them with national elections. Was to determine whether candidate Tiffany Henry should be on the ballot for next month's primary. She is running as a Republican and previously served as a Democratic mayor of Dalton, Illinois, but lost her re-election bid in 2025. Now officials are trying to determine if she has lived in Fulton County long enough to run for office.
This is just showing the disconnect of the work and the leaders that we have here in Fulton County.
Residents spoke out against her during the meeting, arguing that she shouldn't be allowed on the ballot. Her time in office in Illinois drew significant scrutiny, including multiple investigations and lawsuits over spending and governance. Henyard declined to do a recorded interview with Atlanta News First on Thursday, but sent this statement saying, "What we are witnessing right now is not about residency. It is about..."
Oh, you didn't bug me, man. You didn't bug me at all. Hey, if I'm too busy to answer, there's a delay in the answer. I pick you up when you can. You never bug me, dude.
Sure, you don't let Tiffany Henyard come into this county and do what she did on the south side of Illinois.
Adam Murphy, Atlanta News First. All right, so they can't even get the notice for the hearing out correctly, but they absolutely very competent when it comes to mail-in ballots. So they don't have the hearing. The hearing gets postponed, and they'll come back at a later time saying she's now a Republican. She comes from Illinois. She calls herself the self-proclaimed super mayor, and they have now delayed a hearing. They saw the lease. A second meeting was convened on Thursday for another hearing, but then she was not properly notified of the hearing.
Look at the road now. That's the road I was driving on earlier.
Schedule it again for her edibility for April 20th. What is going on in Georgia for her edibility? All right, so it's, I guess, see whether she's edible and also eligible, maybe? All right, so good typos over there. Definitely not edible. We'll leave that one alone. All right, so we also saw that there was a lot of problems for her because she was allegedly stealing millions of dollars. Her tenure in Illinois drew scrutiny. There were multiple investigations, and there was a lawsuit filed by the city of Dalton, right where she left and abandoned, against the Fifth Third Bank, saying the bank enabled improper payments during her tenure there. She lists her occupation as a business owner, and the truth is, according to this complaint, wait till you see all of the money that this lady just siphoned right out of the Village of Dalton bank account. So all these taxpayers dump into the Dalton bank account. Now the city, the village, is suing the bank. They're saying, you should not have cashed these checks because she's now taken almost $2 million out of our booties. The village of Dalton is an Illinois local government unit. On or after May 10, 2021, she was an employee. She was the mayor. Then after May 21, you guys, the village, had an obligation to create a bank account. We had to keep the funds in there. Now, there was a one period in time where they went to this bank,
she is slick.
Third Bank.
We'll give her that.
Then they maintained all of these accounts. Okay, so Henyard has access to all these various accounts ending in this number. All bank accounts maintained are a matter of public record, and there were two people who were supposed to be signers who could write checks. Tiffany Henyard, the mayor, and the clerk, Allison Key. They were added to the accounts. So if a check is written, they both need to sign it in order for it to be valid. The village board of Dalton adopted a resolution amending the authorized signatories for the checking
that's cool.
accounts. The resolution added Tiffany and Allison as the signatories, and
be careful, you'll have Alexa ordering stuff for you.
Signatories. It required, according to the resolution, that each check drawn from the Dalton bank account be authorized and signed by both of them.
No, our
Tiffany
system's horrible.
And Allison Key. Both keys need to go in. You turn those.
How did she not get prosecuted for all that fraud, too?
The vault. On or after May 12th, the village of Dalton sent this over to the bank and said, hey, don't cash any checks unless it has both signatures because the super mayor is crazy. They relied upon them saying, we're happy to do that, no problem. So once that was sent over to them, what happened is, as a direct result of Tiffany Henyard stealing or misappropriating over $1.8 million, village of Dalton got ripped off. They said they lost $1.893 million of taxpayer funds. They incurred interest payments on multiple debts due to theft, and they couldn't invest anything. So now they sued in order for the bank to be held liable for this. And I
hope she does.
Say, it's not our problem.
I think she just ran down there to escape prosecution, but I don't think she's going to be able to get away with it.
Tiffany Henyard, according to Dalton, stole or misappropriated funds by signing the following checks from accounts and did not have a co-signer. Allison Key did not sign any of these things. Village of Dalton.
No, I can't even write checks for my LLC without a second signature.
And the bank, you're not supposed to send these remittances, but they do. So it just continues on. So 4/8, 4/11, 4/12, 4/8, 4/11, 4/12, kind of out of order. $4,500, $33,000, $89. We'll look at the big ones. $10,000, $20,000, another 20 G's, $47,000, and it just goes on.
Tahoe and stuff too, Suburban.
From the various month after month. So that was in April.
Or a Navigator or something like that.
You see, we've got some July. We go into September, another 23,000 right here. 11,000 in September, another 23,000. $60,000, $199,000, $175,000. All she's just cashing checks, baby. What do you need? I'll pay for it. Here, sure. How much do you need?
Yeah,
5,000, 4,500, 17,000. The big one was in the six-digit range.
Midwest
all of these
did a pretty good
just cash it out.
a video at one of the meetings there. Of course, Long Island Audit did a few good ones.
And on for pages. Similarly, in October, then we get into November, 30,000 G's right there. Things start to lighten up in 23. So they say the bank is responsible for this. You should not have cashed these checks. You allowed her to steal or misappropriate public funds. You violated the resolution. We sent specifically to you and told you 2 co-signers, but you didn't do that, and you failed to investigate all this.
Yeah, I remember that, Eggsy.
So breach of contract.
That's what I was referring to.
We entered into a contractual relationship, and You violated reasonable commercial banking standards, and they just got ripped off of almost $2 million. Commercial standards required that checks have 2 signatures. You didn't do that. She didn't have the authority to sign only off on herself, and you breached your duty of care.
I think Flex Your Freedom even went over there one time, didn't he?
And so therefore, they're suing the bank. The bank has now filed a motion to dismiss on this, saying we're not responsible for this. It's your account. You should have been monitoring it, and you should have kicked her off the account, actually. So, aiding and abetting, they say that you're aiding and abetting, and so we demand a trial by jury. We want all.
Yeah, that one dude, one of her entourage was threatening him, Long Island audit.
And so we'll see what the bank has to say in response to that. But this is who we're dealing with, these types of people. Millions of dollars just being ripped off everywhere we look, and it's by the people, so-called, who are elected to be good stewards of their district's finances, instead just getting handbags if you're Fannie Willis or getting whatever. I'd like to know what those checks were for. It'd be very interesting to see what each one of those checks was actually sent for, and to backtrace those funds to see what she was buying. So here, Katie Pavlich, shout out to her, invited on Tiffany Henyard and laced into her a little bit. Said this woman used to be the Democrat mayor of Dolton, but now she's running for Georgia for the Fulton County Board of Commissioners to join Rob Pitts and the other goons over there as a Republican. She says her former party will do anything to win their seats, and so now she's a Republican. Here's the super.
Let's take a look at your new political adventure in Georgia. You had many accusations of corruption when you were the mayor in this little town in Illinois. There was accusations of spending millions and millions of dollars in a deficit. There were questions about taxpayers funding first-class tickets. You're once deemed the worst mayor in America. You used to be a Democrat. Why should Georgia voters trust you to run as a Republican genuinely, but also that you've changed your ways?
First, I want to speak to the fact of why I'm running as Republican. My values no longer align with the Democrat values. And I'm all about faith. I'm all about God. I'm all about making sure you walk the tightrope as it relates to.
She's doing pretty good, XC.
And they will do anything, when I say anything to win.
Still haven't found a resolution for her vehicle yet.
I can't stand by the things that I've seen within the party. So I am.
It is true, they will. They'll do anything.
Change. And like I said, change is difficult. Change is needed, though, in our communities. And I'm okay with aligning with the Republican Party because you guys represent what I represent, which is faith, family, future, growth, economic, policy. That is so key to me. I care about those things. And yet, the other people tearing us apart. TSA, for instance, why would they gridlock the government? I am really, really big on.
How is TSA gridlocking the government?
It's how they pay the people. The people got to eat first. It's all about the people first.
Yeah, Congress pays themselves, so the other people are not getting paid. That's for sure. They're happy to never skip a paycheck. Yes. When you just mentioned they will do anything to win an election, what does that mean? Who is they, and what are you talking about?
They, meaning Democrat Party. And as everybody know, I was once a Democrat, so I know what it's like to be on the other side. And they will do anything to win their seats. And I can't stand for it.
Can't stand for it.
The caucus in 2024, they stole the entire election in Illinois. Everybody saw it. The news was out there, everybody broadcasted. And no one did anything to change it or fix it. And now people are seeing
you were part of it.
And that's what I mean. Dictator, that's what they are.
Okay, so she's trying to reinvent herself, which is, a nice try, good attempt. I mean, you got to do something when you're apparently on the hook for almost $2 million of funds that you ripped off of your prior constituency for your own ill-gotten gains. And hopefully the Fulton County Republicans don't buy it and don't enable this to continue forward. But she may not even live there. So we'll have a residency probe hearing coming up in just a few days. Hopefully Fulton County sends the email correctly. Somebody should double check that, okay? So that she can show up and you can ask her some real hard questions about not only where she lives, but maybe also about her massive amounts of thievery and fraud. I don't think that's what God was talking about, or Jesus, or whatever she claims to ascribe to. But it's Fulton County. They keep electing Big Fannie Willis. She might be a shoo-in. They might make her governor. Who knows? We'll keep our eye on this one. Thanks for joining and subscribing as we do. All right, now, we got one final fraudster, and it just keeps going. And it's like a never-ending saga because fraud is everywhere. But here we go. Expulsion vote for Representative Sheila Cherfilus McCormick coming soon. This is the woman who was found guilty of numerous various charges for stealing $5 million from the Florida FEMA funds. She sent an invoice after they created a little fake company, in my opinion, totally made up to get rich and grift off the COVID scam. And they sent a bill for $50,000. By mistaken accident, the the Florida Accounting Department added a couple zeros on there and paid her $5 million, which she pocketed and then used to run for Congress. She used that money and then won a seat because she outspent her opponents and obliterated them. And now the question is, what do we do with her? Her criminal trial was supposed to happen sooner than later, and it's not going to be happening soon at all. We'll come to that in a minute to take a look at the continuance. But now Congress is generating some momentum to expel her and kick her butt out. Here is what Anna Paulina Luna said,
She was just on Hannity.
We have your expulsion vote ready to be called upon on the 21st of this month. Those are your two options. And so America is tracking, we know well here, Sheila stole $5 million in FEMA funds, sent the invoice for 50 G's, got paid $5 million, and then won her congressional seat. So it's developing, a lot of momentum around this right now. Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, was asked about this. And Manu Raju from CNN said, Johnson told me that she should be expelled after the House ethics probe found the Democrat guilty. Asked him also about Corey Mills, who's being investigated on a range of other allegations, said that he would be looking into the status of that probe as well. Here's the latest from Congress. Very low volume. Let's boost this up so we can hear it.
Right now, it's going to be a clean extension, and if we put amendments on it, it jeopardizes its passage, and it's far too important.
Do you support expelling Cherfilus McCormick and Corey Mills?
Look, as you know, I have been a jealous guardian of due process around here. I do think certainly on Cherfilus McCormick, the ethics committee has gone through all of its processes, and they found some alarming facts. I think the facts are indisputable at this point, and so I believe it'll be the consensus of this body that she should be expelled. I mean, that certainly rises to the level that's needed.
What about Mills?
With regard to Mills, I'm not sure the status of the ethics committee investigation, and that's one of the things I'll be looking into today.
And when does Gonzalez?
All right, so lots of problems in Congress. We just saw that Tony Gonzalez and Eric Swalwell, Bang Bang with Fang Fang Guy, is now gone. And Luna is saying, we're going to continue on with this one. And Johnson was out again today, and he had more to say about this during a Republican presser. Here's what he said.
And some of those investigations are ongoing. Although next week there's another Democrat, Cherfilus McCormick, moving to a sentencing hearing on Tuesday of next week through the House Ethics Committee. They investigated and gave her so much due process that it took more than 2 years because she resisted it. I expect that they will come forward with a recommended punishment.
No, because you guys drag your feet, Republicans.
That may be expulsion, in my view. That would be appropriate there. And she's had all the investigation and the fact
Just as bad because you don't act. You think the Democrats would let that go for that long, 2 years?
Disaster relief funds by a member of Congress that deserves expulsion. It is a rare penalty. It's only happened so far 6 times since 1789. But these times call for desperate measures, right? So we'll do that. We said as well as we can, and we will call on every member of Congress to serve with the dignity of your office that is required and expected of you. We have to bring the respect of the institution back after things like this, but we will. We're on the job every day.
All right, so she'll be sentenced in the House next week, but we still have the criminal proceeding, which is pending in Florida. And we have an update on that one that just dropped out of the oven. You can see we're in the Southern District of Florida on this one. And for some reason, we have a joint motion, which means it is from the United States prosecutors and all of the defendants. So it's her husband, and some other, I think, family members who are all in big trouble here, criminally charged outside of Congress. Congress is doing its own internal ethics investigation. But now we have a joint motion. So Edwin and his lawyers are joined with all of the other parties, including Sheila, and they ask for a continuance in the trial. They want to postpone it until next year, February 2027. And they want all of the pretrial deadlines also extended. He's joined in this motion by the government, so the prosecutors agree with this as well, and by his co-defendants. And this was just the subject of the last ethics hearing that we covered in Congress. They said to Congress, don't weigh evidence. We need to wrap the criminal case up first, then we can come back to Congress. And in Congress, you can then see what the outcome of the criminal case is and then issue your ruling. But then we turn around and the case is getting continued. And even the prosecutors agree with the continuance. So Sheila, Nadege, and David Kofi Spencer are all in on board. In support of this request, everyone says the following. This matter arises from a 17-count indictment alleging the theft of government funds, money laundering charges, charges relating to straw donor contributions because all of the stolen money went back in to her campaigns, false statement related charges, and more. Mr. Cherpelis is charged in counts 1 through 11 based on alleged contact from 2000 and conduct from 21. Trial was originally scheduled for a 2-week period this year in January. Supposed to be a calendar call on January 20th, but then in January, the defendants, in this case the Congresswoman and her co-conspirators, they filed a first unopposed motion to continue trial. She said, oh, there's voluminous discovery, and we need time so that everybody can get lawyers, confer through counsel, and actually propose a trial date after they understand the extent of the discovery. It's noted that as of the date of the first continuance, one of the parties, Cherpelis, had not yet been arraigned and had not yet retained her current counsel. A very common strategy for defendants who just want to buy time. I remember on one case, I was like lawyer number 7, literally. The judge didn't care, and I was very upset about it, but yeah, that's a whole separate story. But the court granted this first unopposed motion and scheduled a trial to begin next week on April 20th with the calendar call of today. That was a continuance. Now that the parties all finally have lawyers, permanent counsel, and that the lawyers have had a chance to confer, the parties hereby jointly request that the government, the court, set this matter for trial in February 2027. No. The first discovery production in this case consisted of 1.2 million records, including written reports, bank and other financial documents, and recordings and communications between all of them. So you guys know what's in the discovery. You were the ones who were spending the money. The material covers information going back years. Due to the volume of the material, the defense lawyers are having to spend substantial time and resources to ensure this discovery is properly set up for their review and investigation as the litigation goes forward. It's pretty interesting, because I remember when Trump was being prosecuted in front of Judge Chutkan, she didn't give a crap about any of the discovery-related complaints. There were more materials in that.
Hey, thanks whoever just raided the stream.
If you remember
Cecil says, thank you for the raid.
They just keep producing documents and documents and documents. Wheelbarrows full of materials getting dumped on the defense's door. Chutkan said, well, the prosecutor organized it into a binder, and she highlighted what you need to know. And there's little tabs on here. And so great job, prosecutor. So no, trial will be happening very soon until Chutkan got blown out by the Supreme Court. So they thus require additional time to review the materials in full with their clients. Further, the government, the prosecutors, have also advised that a second discovery production is forthcoming in either late May or early June. And that a third production will be coming in the months thereafter. And if the prosecutors are going to continue to dump discovery, then they really can't have a trial. So the defense understands that the third production will be primarily comprised of materials turned over by an external filter team, and that there is thus some uncertainty at this point as to when these materials will be ready for the government to produce and for the defense to review. So the continuance the parties are requesting is thus intended to account for the unexpected or expected timing uncertainty related to the production of the materials, for the substantial time it will take for the defense to investigate the full volume of the discovery and to prepare the case, and for pretrial litigation that may arise pursuant to that review. So February next year is intended to also account for the holiday season. Oh, that's nice. This request is made in good faith, will not cause undue delay. The prosecutors, U.S. attorneys, assistant U.S. attorneys Alejandro Lopez and John Today, they've advised that the government agrees with the continuance. Attorneys William Barzy, Marcos, and Manuel, they've also advised on their clients that they agree with the continuance, and so therefore, the Churfilises, together with the government and the other parties, respectfully request that the court grant the motion, set a trial for this case in Feb 2027 with the extension of all of the other deadlines. This one coming from the public defender called Shari Liquid.
Yeah, sure. Good faith agreements. We'll just bump it back for 2 years.
Then we turn around and the court grants it. This cause came before the court upon the Churfilises motion, and the court, having considered the motion and otherwise been fully advised, it is ordered and adjudged that the motion to continue the trial is granted. The interest of justice served by a continuance outweighed the interest of the public, yes, that's us, and the defendant to a speedy trial. And so as a result, the period of delay resulting from this continuance from the date the motion was filed back in March, including the date trial commences, is all excludable time. So no problems with the right to a speedy trial. Clock doesn't count against anybody because there's good cause. So the above cause is now set for a jury trial before the district judge in Miami, Florida, for a 2-week period beginning on February 8th, 2027. Calendar call February 3rd. Counsel can appear on the calendar call and enter their appearances telephonically. Call that number and you can make your representation.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it.
It gets postponed again. So hopefully
he gets to continue voting until then. Congress just needs to expel
so that she doesn't continue to be a representative throughout the pendency of this criminal proceeding. But what we're seeing is various representatives are all coming out and saying it's time. She's got to go. There's a little bit of a fever that is happening inside the House of Representatives.
Fever for the flavor?
And expelling or enforcing the resignations has caught on. Here is another post and message from Greg Stubbe, who's a representative with a nice hat on, saying the following right here.
Hakeem Jeffries was asked today if Democrats would whip against a censure or an expulsion resolution that were to come to the floor in the coming days. He didn't even answer the question. He just said, next question. What do you think that says about where Democrats' leadership's head is on?
Well, the Ethics Committee is the only committee in Congress that's evenly split between Republicans and Democrats. So if the committee, in a bipartisan manner, recommends an expulsion, that puts the Democratic caucus in a very tough position because you would be undermining your own members on the Ethics Commission, Ethics Committee. So it's taken a long time, but I'm going to let that process work itself out. So she has the opportunity to be heard. She has an opportunity to present countervailing evidence, and the Ethics Committee has the opportunity to present the evidence that's underlying the basis of the complaint.
Guy's an idiot. Trying to get over.
And the committee will make made public what the committee votes on. I will move the floor.
And anything else that you think would be important for our
He's going to hurry.
as we go into this week?
I'm doing 80. Look how fast he went by me.
Congress, who's allegedly stolen over $5 million in taxpayer funds. She should immediately resign instead of going through this process, but she's going to force us to do this. More information will come out than what otherwise would be.
All right, so a little bit of an older clip there, but looks like he's in favor of voting her out. This is from Andrew Solinder. He is an Axios congressional reporter and a loudmouth New York Jew and a bi king. I don't Okay, interesting things going on in that thing. He says this is an account of who is going to vote and how. So he posted this earlier this week and has a list of people who are still unclear on Cherfilus McCormick. Gonzalez and Swalwell, they're gone, so that column should be deleted. But we've got Rokana unclear on Cherfilus, Teresa Fernandez unclear, Sam Liccardo, Jared Huffman, Byron Donalds is even unclear according to him, Becca Balint, and Derek Van Orden unclear otherwise. Some serious momentum to boot her out of there. And here was Anna Paulina Luna. This was from earlier over the weekend.
Also sharing that at the end of the month, Sheila McCormick, the Democrat that stole $5 million of FEMA funds, is going to be brought up on a motion to expel. So if she does not resign beforehand, we will expel her. But Eric has an option. I'm going to bring this vote next week. If Democrats want to protect this type of garbage, I wouldn't recommend it. But they're going to be put on the board for that. I'm tired of this. I'm not going to serve with these sexual deviants. That's not what Congress is all about. And I think that we need to focus on the business of the American people, and it doesn't include this stuff. So let's get right on.
Get out. Good idea. I like that from Anna Paulina Luna. And even AOC was asked about this, saying that, yeah, Cherfilus should be expelled. Here's AOC.
I also asked about Congresswoman Sheila McCormick, Sheila Cherfilus McCormick.
Yeah,
do you believe that she should be expelled? The Ethics Committee last month found her guilty of over 20 violations.
And I think that this case is an example of how this process should go, right? Serious allegations, some that may even be criminal, be subject to criminal investigation.
She's charged criminally.
Instead of just knee-jerking, going to some things, we can't all be part of an investigatory process. It went through an investigatory process. Ethics has found her guilty, and that's the conclusion that we have, and that's going to come to the floor. And I hope that we can all be bipartisan, because this is what our processes are for, to uphold those conclusions that we see by the commission.
So you think that she should be expelled or should resign?
I would agree with that. Yes.
That she should resign,
yes,
and if she doesn't resign, she should be expelled.
Yes, and if the ethics committee, because my understanding, as you said, the ethics committee found her guilty, then I would vote for her.
Yeah, she was saying that
AOC is on board with that.
But the Democrats held Swalwell accountable. No, they didn't. He resigned.
That they pushed back on removal.
They said they made
a statement over to the Daily Signal.
Yeah.
They said, I want to be very clear. This is from Cherfilus's lawyers. These situations are not the same. A state clerical or administrative error is not the same as assault or or the likes of it, like Swalwell. Conflating the two.
It's still a felony.
Inaccurate.
You knew you weren't supposed to be getting $5 million, and then you spent it on your campaign.
Expelling members without that standard sets a dangerous precedent. And for those asking whether I plan to resign, the answer is no. This is not the time to abandon the district, not when they too are fighting for their future.
Wow.
That's curious. And I think if they're expelled, then they don't get to keep their taxpayer-funded benefits. Here was Lauren Boebert explaining that she's not happy that Swalwell and Gonzalez resigned because then they get to keep their pensions and other benefits versus being expelled, where those things are then removed from your future prospects.
21st. Right. So that's one.
Well, we'll see.
Else.
Well, how about we talk about the two that just resigned today? Like, isn't that just such a huge story here? Like, first of all, I think that they should have been expelled and not resigned. And I think that we need to actually look into ways to censure with other aspects to say you can't have your pension. You can't leave here with all your taxpayer-funded benefits after you have created such shameful acts that you have to bow out and resign from Congress. There needs to be stricter penalties with that. I don't think Swalwell's days are over. I think that he's going to have a lot of legal woes in his future. And I don't know, maybe Gonzalez as well. But I'm glad that both of these creeps are out of Washington, D.C., and I'm sure there are many more that haven't even been named yet that need to go as well.
Shifty shift.
There's also another exchange here with Corey Mills, who's also coming under some scrutiny for I think the allegations are blackmailing a former ex or something with some revenge information that he would be willing to share, and some pretty, gnarly text messages and other things. And here's what he had to say about this when asked in the halls of Congress about it.
People talking about it now. I'm not scared to the fact that I don't even fall into the category of Swalwell and Gonzalez. One, I'm not married. So there's 1 and 2. I've never sexually harassed any or had any complaints by any staffers or interns on the Hill. It's just not even a fair comparison. This is obviously a political Democrat tit for tat, so I'm not even going to entertain it, but I haven't heard anything as far as myself. People talking.
All right. So we'll see what comes for him. There is a probe underway, according to Mike Johnson. We'll see what that looks like. And Janine Pirro was out. She says, I'm here in D.C. So there are 5 women who have made serious allegations against Bang Bang Swalwell. I encourage anyone with credible information or complaints involving similar conduct in D.C. to contact my office's hotline, and she'll take it from there.
D.C. U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro tells Fox 5 exclusively she wants to hear from any potential victims in the district. Pirro wants to make sure people know that they can come to her office to report any sexual misconduct allegations, and they can remain anonymous.
Most people think of the United States Attorney as going into federal court, but the truth is we're double hatters here. So I handle all the local crime as well as the federal crime. So I want potential victims and witnesses and anyone who has any information to come to my office.
Yeah, because he did Bang Bang with Fang Fang.
202-252-0809.
Pirro's office is responsible for prosecuting both federal and state crimes, so she is responsible for prosecuting anything that happens on federal property, like the Capitol, and anywhere else within the district.
All right, so give them a call if you're out there and you know anything about Swalwell. And here is more from Luna. It's time to take out the trash. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. Members of the House of Representatives need to be held accountable. No member is above the law. No exceptions, no excuses.
And 2 congressional women, Republican Ana Paulina Luna of Florida and Democrat Teresa Leger Fernandez of New Mexico, led the charge in forcing them out by preparing measures to expel them.
If it wouldn't have been for those resolutions that we were each filing, they wouldn't have resigned. Do you think this is a reckoning up here on Capitol Hill?
Collins is going to set forth maybe a chain reaction, but I know.
Yeah, sing. I like it.
They're just like, if somebody were to take time to take out the trash.
Why did you take it upon yourselves to do this?
I think it's a really poor reflection on all of us. It was unacceptable that nothing was being done about it.
We need to hold ourselves accountable as well.
And nice. All right, so time to take the trash out, and I would suspect there's a lot more inside that we're going to learn more about over the coming days. But Cherfilis will be back for her sentencing recommendation coming out of the House Ethics Committee next week. We'll cover that and see what her future. All right, it's been a lovely stream. If you're just joining us, quick recap. We talked about the Fulton County fraudsters, Rob Pitts, Abby Lowell, Norm Eisen. They all lose. They demanded that the court order the production of more information from the DOJ, the FBI, so that the discovery into their criminal investigation could continue, even though they have not been charged yet. The judge denied it, said, no, it's not my job to order anything. My role is not to help you obtain materials. It's only to receive materials. So if you have it, get it into us. We want it submitted by April 27th. At that time, we'll make a decision about whether the pallets full of ballots must be returned back over to the Fulton County fraudsters, much like a murder weapon would be given back to the murderer. Going to be an insane thing if the judge does that. I have my doubts about it, but we're on this case. We also refreshed our recollection about an amazing amicus brief, which has been filed and now officially accepted. It was just basically being a request to be accepted the last time we looked at it. It is now dropped and been received, so it's a part of the file. We also know that Fannie's $2 million payday that she got courtesy of the Joe Biden administration in a no bid, no contest type of.
Oh, your corny joke was funny because Swalwell's horny.
Senator Greg Dolezal, who is also running for lieutenant governor, and we hope that he wins. We also heard from Harmeet Dillon. She has explained that they have found hundreds of thousands of problematic peoples on the voter rolls. There are many states that are still fighting to prevent any voter rolls from being delivered over to the DOJ in spite of the federal law mandate that they do this. And so we're excited to see and continue to cover developments on the civil rights cases that are being filed all across America. Then we turned our attention to Tiffany Henyard. she is being probed for residency problems. We looked at the lawsuit, which was filed by the Village of Dalton against the Fifth Third Bank, which said that she stole $1.8 million worth of materials as the single sole signer of checks that should not have been cashed without two signers. A co-signer
Quebec
from $1.8 million.
Quebec plate in front of me.
Funds that were siphoned right out of this account or various accounts. And she now is not going to be required
to guys, drop the hammer.
Was supposed to be
version
at
of
the
65. We're only doing 50
days ago to probe her residency, but Fulton County, they got her email address wrong. Didn't send the right notice to the right person, so they had to postpone it.
Come on,
that should be happening next week.
I just got. No,
and we'll be excited to see what that sounds like. It should be a total Barnum and Bailey circus freak show.
Tolerance. We got a tolerance sticker. Oh, geez.
Claiming to be a Republican now. Probably lives next door to Fannie. We'll keep our eye on her, the super mayor. Meanwhile, in Congress, we've got real momentum to actually expel Cherfilus McCormick, Sheila, out of Congress for her theft of $5 million in FEMA funds. She had a trial that was scheduled for basically this month that all got postponed. There is a joint motion. Should be 2 additional tranches of discovery materials that will be released. The trial has been rescheduled for February 8th, 2027, so we're going to have to wait on that one. But she may be out of Congress long before then. Some serious momentum is now rallying around the other expulsions. AOC's even on board. Boebert's on board. Corey Mills was here with an appearance. Janine Pirro is staying on top of the Eric Swalwell case. And the both bipartisan individuals here, Democrat and Republican, ready to take out the trash. But now, my friends, it is time to hear from you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us on our live stream. Hopefully you subscribe so that we never miss you again. We go live at this time every weekday, and we'd love to see you back here. There is a lot to cover and a lot cooking. So thanks for being here, and thanks for all the love and the support for the work that we do, and for the donos. I see some very nice donos coming in. Man, thank you, friends. We got some great comments as well. Let's see who is here and joining us on the day. What do we have? Dun, 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 dun. We got a birthday in the house? We got some new members in the house? What is this one? Oh, it's Ayatollah Trump. Oh, it's Ayatollah. It's not a bad look. It's not a bad look, Mr. President. But he can't put anything over the hair unless it's a MAGA hat, because it's just too iconic. All right, so thank you for that, Ayatollah Trump. Tim Jake is in the house. What's going on, Tim Jake? We got 5 new membos coming in, courtesy of Tim Jake. Thank you, Tim, for doing this. Welcome, Craig Law, the 68 caliber, Jane Bosch, J Mag Love, and Michael Wright in the house. We had a great members-only stream this morning. We talked about the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys motion to dismiss, which was just filed in the Court of Appeals. And we talked about the Nick Shirley Act, the Stop Nick Shirley Act out of California. Wild. California's wild. We watched the hearing where Rob Bonta's wife came in, and she's behind the bill. And the person opposing the bill, DeMayo, was getting harassed by the other board members for daring to ask a question. California is a disaster. If you live there, wow, amazing. Tim Jake, thank you for that. Ruby Hoo, bringing in El Marhan in the house. Good to see you, Ruby Hoo. Welcome aboard, El Marhan. We appreciate that. We got a birthday in the house. Lenny Malley says, make it the happiest birthday for Lenny Malley. He says, come on, people, smash that like button. From my birthday present, please. Pointing at you, thumbs up. Thank you, Lenny Malley. Don't do it for us, do it for Lenny. It's his birthday. Thank you for liking this video, making it the most best, happiest birthday of all time. Thank you, Lenny. Happy birthday, my friend. Hopefully you're having a beautiful day. Celebrating, enjoying another year, wiser, smarter, more accomplished, better looking, all of the things. Happy birthday.
Jesus.
We're grateful to have you. Thank you for that. Ruby Hoo, thank you. Hey, 2 months as a member. Says, hey, great explanations. Thank you, Ruby Hoo. Some are better than others, but, we give it our best shot. Thank you for that, Ruby Hoop. Thanks for being here for 2 months. First month's the hardest, gets easier from there. Hey, Mizzy M. Thank you, Mizzy, for the nice dono. Says, listen to part of your show this morning on possible impeachment hearings of Boasberg. Oh, that was yesterday afternoon show. Yeah, I didn't hear the full show, but it would be great to see finally some justice done. It's been a year and a half after the election, and nobody has really been held to account for anything. I know. Tell me about it. Pretty disappointing. Hey, but keep up the good work and good luck in DC. Thank you, Mizzy. I think we're going to need it. So we appreciate that. Yeah, that was yesterday's stream, or yesterday afternoon stream. And Eric Schmidt has really been the person who's been calling for the impeachment of these corrupt judges, I think more than anybody. Even after Boasberg approved the spying on the very senators who would be the trial, jurors essentially, for his impeachment, all go pretty quiet. There's like a week of outrage. Jack Smith spied on us? I can't believe it. And then they all move on to the next thing, which is, passing FISA. So thank you, Izzy M. We appreciate that. And very nice to have you here. Yeah, that was a good stream yesterday. Hey, Ruby Hoove. Why do they think they can get the ballots back? It's a fraud investigation, and the court is involved. It seems that they are trying to bury the facts. Am I wrong? You're not wrong at all. No, they're trying to get the ballots back because it's like literally the murder weapon. They say their legal argument is that property was taken from them without a real solid basis to do that. And there's a mechanism by which you can say, that this property is not a part of the underlying investigation. And they submitted that motion saying essentially the affidavit, the search warrant were all invalid. There was material omissions, that certain information in the search warrant or in the affidavit that was presented to obtain the search warrant was not presented, that should have been presented, that could have been exonerative. And the search warrant, they say, was facially deficient because it didn't allege intentionality, or it didn't allege sufficient facts to support evidence of a crime. But they don't need to get all of the evidence submitted in a search warrant affidavit. It's only to establish probable cause, which is that there's fair probability that evidence of a crime will be discovered after the execution of the search warrant. They've met that standard, I think, and I think this judge was just kind of entertaining this to give them a full shake on it. But I can't imagine he orders those ballots to be returned. But it is Georgia, so you never know. It's wild out there. Hey, Jim! Jim tells you. But we did that. If you were hanging around, you saw that as it came through. Let me just add that right now. I added it as we were exiting, but I'll just do that. People are wondering if this is the cause of tsunamis in the Atlantic Ocean, or these perturbations or these hurricanes. Maybe it might just be Fannie Willis going for a little swim. I'm pretty sure that's real. That's not AI. I think it's real. Hey, scene from one of the cruises. Hey, Scott Hotbed. Fannie Willis was responsible for the Titanic. It wasn't actually an iceberg. It was Fannie Willis. Hey, Scott. Good to see you, Scott. Welcome aboard. Thank you for becoming a member. And Robert Castro, thank you for becoming a member. Great to see you guys. So we'll see you. So tomorrow, the members only stream might not be live. And I have a conflict.
He froze. Well, let's find someone to raid. Oh shit, I gotta get off the freeway up here. Signals in and out, yeah. think it's a rumble issue. Yeah, I'm grabbing something to eat. Let's see who's live right now that I can. That I can raid. Gouveia is still live, but he's about to end his stream. Should we do that before he gets off? Nah. Let's find someone who's live off my feed here. Owen Schroyer's live. Robert is live. Alex Jones. Alex has kind of gone off the rails a little bit lately, but it is what it is. Who's this? Quiet Part Podcast? Reposting for the sake of reposting. Is he live? Hang on. Is this one live? Yeah, I think I'll just do on Schroyer. Let me get over here. There's a spot over here. I'm going to be over here. Okay. Be kind. All right, let's find Owen. Let me see. Yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm hungry. We got some financial updates we got to take care of. So let me pull up his URL, and we will go from there. Okay. And my content. Read. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Let me see if this works. Confirm raid. All right. See you guys over there. We'll see you next time. I got quite a few more hours I have to do of just plain streaming. Usually that's the one thing I've got done, but this will complete all but that. So peace. Love you guys. Have a good one. Head on over. Schroyer. Oh, shit. What did I do?